Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to day 2 of my Inktober experience. Welcome back to the channel. This is Drawing with Michael. I am, of course, your host, Michael. Today we're starting out with the Blue Line Caul Erase pencil on toned Canson paper. Continuing on with my quest to do movie characters. That is kind of my MO as far as what I'm doing for Inktober. I'm doing Harry Potter characters. So I did see, there's definitely prompts. There's definitely prompts when it comes to Inktober, but that being said, what I'm doing is just kind of doing my own thing. Because honestly, even though I like a lot of the things that, have been posted online, I don't think there's any specific, like, you have to, if you're participating in Inktober, you will be using my prompts. It's just a suggestion, honestly, guys. Don't get stressed out. That's one of the things that I don't want to do anymore, is get stressed out. I don't want to get stressed out anymore. That's one thing. Anyway, so hopefully you guys have started your Inktober festivities. And are enjoying them. I literally, yesterday was my first foray into Inktober in a while. I didn't do it last year because at that particular point in time I was doing a children's book. And honestly, I didn't have time. I didn't have time for your Inktober, bro. So, this morning, if you haven't noticed already, the silhouette has sort of a feminine quality to it. I'm doing Hermione Granger. One of my favorite characters in the Harry Potter series, kind of like the conscience, of the crew. She's definitely one of the more wonderful characters in the series. So as I talk to you, I'm screwing up my drawing. Sorry about that. For a long time I kind of poo-pooed Harry Potter. Just because it, I wasn't really into the books. I was older whenever it came about. I didn't really have the same relationship that a lot of, millennials did. And I didn't really get into the whole world per se, but now that I do the toys, I enjoy me some Harry Potter. I haven't read the books. I'm sure the books are wonderful. Okay, I've been putting off the eyes too long. I've been putting them off too long. Okay, so I think this head comes out just a little bit too far. Right. Comes down. The trick is whenever you draw delicate, feminine characters, you really have to watch your hard lines, right? You have to watch the size of the eyeballs. You have to watch the shape of the eyes in general. These are the things that I pay attention to, because once I get this outside eye at least fleshed out, done, it'll give me a nice base reference for the other eye location. And I'm not trying to make her quote-unquote sexy. And that's the deal, right? I don't want to make her sexy. That's not her character, right? I've seen so many times that, you know, people try to over-sexualize this particular character. And I'm not out there to do that. That's not what I want to do. So I'm trying to get the eye shape. Give her, got this eye that comes around like this. Eyelid comes up here, around. I got a little bit more. Let's see, a little bit more. Not much, just a little bit more of that eye. So I'm going to come around here. I'm going to give that little bit of eye shine. I'm going to have this come up. Come around. Right. And have that eye come up. Here's the eyebrow. But anyway, so like I was saying, the characters in Harry Potter, you know, for the longest time, I thought the entire book series was about magic, and it's not. The book series is not about magic. You know, what you need to understand... Oh, I can hear the birds outside. You know, I'm going to go too eyebrowy with this, because that'll over-feminize her. And she's one of the... There we go. It's not about magic. You know, there's a lot of magic in the book. I'm sorry, in the stories. But at its heart, the basic story, I believe, from what I've observed, and I've watched the movies. It's been a while, but I've watched the movies. It's about love and sacrifice and the triumph of good over evil, obviously, because you have, you know, the antagonist, very powerful bad guy. We're going to have the cheek come down a little bit lower, right here. Okay, I want to get that smile in, because right now, have this eyebrow come around. It's about love. It's about, you know, a mother and a father's love for their child, which is Harry, and the sacrifice they made in defeating evil. You know, very baseline meaning it's easy to read, right? Okay, so then we have this other eyebrow that comes up here. Okay. And that's, you know, I told somebody, I had a conversation recently with a person that, you know, was talking about Harry Potter, and, you know, whenever they kind of realized, whenever they found out what it was about, I don't like that eyebrow, what it was about, which is basically love, then, you know, I think it kind of opened their eyes a little bit. And I'm not here to promote Harry Potter. That's not my deal on the channel. But, you know, I've got enough sense to realize that there's always an underlying ideal when it comes to movies like this. Okay, so she's smiling. This eye comes down. Right? This hair comes up. This hair comes around. No, I don't like that. So this comes around like this. Much better. Okay. There we go. So this is kind of a shape right here. And I want this to come around. And then we're going to have this little... to kind of frame her face a little bit better. And this comes around. And then since there's weight, I want that weight, right, to pull. It's all pulling this direction, this direction, this direction. So instead of having this even like this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here, and it's going to have a little bit thicker at the bottom because it's got weight to it, right? And this is going to come around. This one shape comes around like this, and again, it's got that. It's going to be weighted at the bottom, like that. There we go. A little indication of a nostril on this side, a little bit of shading underneath here. Define this eye a little bit better. Define this eye a little bit better. Right? And have this come here, 2, 3. Have this one over here, 2, 3. I'm still not sure about this eye right here. I need to have it come up just slightly. Here. There we go. Okay. Have this little piece of hair come down, kind of help frame that jawline. Right, come here. Right, come here. And somebody yesterday, one of my students asked me as far as drawing mouths. And, you know, it's just one of those deals where the mouth, it's you just always need to remember that easy read, right? Smiles, frowns, what makes, that's a little bit too dark. What's the easiest read? There we go. As far, I'm going to make this lip come around. Right? Come around like this. You know, smiles, frowns, surprise. It just takes some practice, right? I'm going to have this lip right here. A little bit fuller on the bottom. Okay. Okay, this shape right here. Define the shape a little bit better. Right here. Look at this. Come around. Come around. This ear's a little bit too big. As I'm fleshing it, see her ear comes up. So I need to come like right here. She doesn't have any earrings, so we're not going to give her any. I'm sure I could give her maybe a little pumpkin earring or something. So I'm going to have this come around. I'm going to have that. Define her neck a little bit better. I'll have this come up. And have that come here. There we go. I need this to come up just a little bit. This is fun. So if you're got this shirt that comes up, it's a little bit higher than the front one. Here, you have that come around. Here's her little tie, right? And this comes around. I'm not going to give her huge boobs. I mean, who, you know, in the context of the story, you know, people have, again, you know, tried to over-sexualize her, and that is not the character. You know, she's not out there doing the guys or doing anything like that. That's not good. You know, anything like that, you don't want to do stuff like that. right? Here's her wand. You know, the reality is there's so much of that junk in games these days. You know, it really makes a big difference as an artist and an illustrator whenever you pay attention to the story context of what exactly you're trying to accomplish with your drawing. And to over-sexualize a character is, in my opinion, just, you don't want to do that. Don't do that. Just don't do it. Right? Okay, so we got that arm that comes here. She's going to be holding some books. Okay, so that arm comes here. Kind of frames her out a little. You know, here's that other right there. And we got the tie that comes like that. Dainty. I think that arm's just too big. See, I've got this. See how this line comes through here? I draw it through, and that basically defines where her shoulder is. So this is out just a little bit too far, but I'm okay with that. Right, I'm going to have that arm come here. And then, so I have a bulge right here, so this one's going to be straight. This arm's too big. I think it's making her look a little bit too matronly. And I ran out of space. Okay, so let's do her books here, because she's a bookworm. She does potion. I don't remember what she does, if she does potions or, you know, spells or she'll do. And we'll have a book kind of catty corner right here. And we'll curve it just a little bit to give it a little bit of character, right? Books right here kind of facing you, and you got this one which is kind of like that. Okay. This comes around. Okay, comes here. I keep getting buzzed on my phone. Who's contacting me? Interesting. I don't have any of that crap. Okay, so I need to move this hand. Okay, here. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the other part of the hand right here. Okay. And we're going to have this hand basically here. Kind of change direction and go up and around. Okay, and her hair comes here. Doesn't mess up that silhouette because I want her jacked up hand to be seen. You know, that's funny. I laugh at myself because even with the fact that I've been doing this a while, hands still, since the complexity of them and throwing them in perspective, I still have issues with hands. Oh, what a nightmare that is. That makes me laugh. You just have to laugh, you know. No matter how many times I've drawn hands, no matter how many times I continually draw hands, the reality is, you know, it's still, after all these years, still hard. For me, at least. I mean, some people just draw hands like they're nothing. But I still have issues with hands. And to me, that's just more, see that, you need to get rid of that. That's just more fuel for the fact that I need practice, right? Okay. So here's the arc of her knuckles. So I'm going to come back and redefine these fingers a little bit better. I don't want to make them meaty, but then I don't want to make them dainty either, right? Because she's not really a dainty lady. She's not sexual. She's not, you know, just define it. Just define it just a little bit. You have this finger that overlaps just a little bit. And you have that meat of the hand, and then you have the fingers that come around here. Not my best hand, and I'm actually going to have her hair overlap just a little bit here, because we're going to color this in slightly, right? Okay. Just a little bit. Here you go. His hair kind of curves around right here. Kind of follows these contour lines. Right? That whole shape right here kind of goes around because she's got a lot of hair. Okay. You know, that one strand come out like that. Whoops. Where am I at? 36 minutes. Okay. So basically 20 minutes. Not my best, not my fastest. But I want to make sure, I'm going to go back. I'm going to start fleshing out some of these little itty bitty details here. You know, like the tie shape and some of those other things. Get that stripe that comes down because she's wearing her vest. You know, maybe move around some of the other elements. And that eye right there is jacked up. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back and I'm going to start correcting my gesture and my drawing. And just try and make it a better drawing. This eye right here, I need to go back and define that a little bit better. And here's that eyebrow. I need to come around and have that come here, here. Shade that in just a little bit to help it push and pull. So I'm going to put you guys on time lapse really quick. I had that jaw come out a little bit further because she's smiling. Right? Pushes that ear. There we go. Pushes that ear back a little bit more. And then, you know, as far as shading and shadowing, these drawings aren't supposed to be that. They're just, you know, your rough sketches, and then you just go in and ink. That's what Inktober's, you know, as far as I'm concerned. That's what Inktober's about. Is getting in there, you have your sketch, and then you just drawing traditionally, right? Okay. Maybe some stripes on here. You know, got that book that comes here and it's hidden. We have it come out just a little bit right here. Okay. Here. Again, I'm not giving her huge, you know, huge tracts of land. Because that's not who she is. You know, I remember growing up, going to the comic store. I wasn't really a comic kid. I enjoyed the occasional comic, right? I did collect Spider-Man for a while because I liked his dynamic poses. And it afforded me basically to learn how to draw Spider-Man. And I didn't really buy the comics for their story arcs and their storylines, which is really cheesy and sad. You know, I bought it for their art. Only until later did I realize, you know, how complex the story construction is. And anyway, you know, I remember looking at a lot of the artwork back then and how just over-sexualized it was. It was just like, enough already. Good grief. You know, why does, you know, like Jean Grey have to have huge boobs, you know, and give poses and, ugh. It just didn't make any sense to me. It was actually pretty distracting. And of course, if my parents saw that when I was younger, I was like, it's a comic book. Okay, so this is Hermione Granger. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put you guys on time lapse. I'm going to have this come out. I'm going to have her like that because I want to see the bottom part of that. I'm going to go ahead and ink it because it is, after all, Inktober, right? Inktober! Hopefully I can get to every single day of Inktober. I'm not saying I'll be able to do that because it's very hard to do it. In my humble opinion, if you know, if this is not your, I'm gonna have that come down right there. That's the bottom of her sweater. Just because of time, I will try hard to do it. But go ahead and enjoy the time-lapse process for the inking. I don't know how long it'll take. It'll probably take me like 10 minutes to ink it. I'm hoping. Have that come around. I might work on the drawing for just a few more minutes just because I want it to, you know, I was always a teacher that I had in college. His name was Joe Teal. I'm sure you guys, if you know, went to Ringling, you remember Joe. I don't know if he's retired or not. He was an SOB, but he was somebody that was honest, and you know, he was somebody that really pushed me as an artist. And he always said, you can't out-render a bad drawing. You can't out-render and correct in your rendering stage a bad drawing. It will shine through no matter what. And that's basically, it's kind of funny. Every single time I go to draw something and I can hear him. Isn't that fascinating? You can hear your old teachers in your brain. You can't out-render a bad drawing, Michael. And he talked like a caveman. He was a caveman. I had a caveman for a teacher. And it's funny because he would make all these really weird sounds whenever you had a bad drawing. He'd be like, oh, ugh. You know, he's like Jabba the Hutt. But he was honest. And he taught me a lot. He taught me a lot of things that, you know, it's not just Joe. I mean, Regan Dunnick, also great teacher. You know, at that time, I needed all of my teachers. You know, Tom Shaka, also a great teacher. You know, professional illustrator. Just a great guy. Really honest. Giving you exactly what you needed to hear at that particular point in time. And I kind of structure my class the same way. I'm honest, but I'm gentle. You know, you don't want to destroy somebody's outlook on art. That's just selfish. You know, I mean, if somebody sucks, tell them they suck in a very nice way, but do it in such a way that's inspiring and encouraging. I mean, don't tell them that they suck. That's not what I'm trying to say. You need to encourage them. See, a while back, my wife said, it is your job as a teacher to find the path to reach people that normally would be quote-unquote unteachable or unaccepting of being taught. So you have to find the path to teach them. And if you have somebody that is not respectful of the process or they don't want to be taught, it's still your job to find that path. And you know, you want to encourage, not belittle, not tear down, not do any of those things, but also be honest. Kids and even adults, but kids in particular, they know when you're lying. They know when you're sugarcoating things. They know when you're telling them things that aren't true. And if you have an artist that has been basically people blowing wind in their sails for so long, and then they get to somebody that is trying to sharpen them, because you know you want to be able to sharpen these kids, a lot of times it hurts, you know. And if you do it in such a way that is encouraging, that is what I'm after, right? You don't want to belittle, you don't want to hurt, you don't want to destroy. I don't like the top of this. You really basically want to help. And that's why you're there. That's why you're there as a teacher. You're there as a resource. That's much better. You're there as a resource to help. So anyway, enjoy the time lapse and we'll do a wrap up at the end. Okay, that's pretty much it for today. I'm not going to go too far in. You know, I don't want to do any color on these. Again, this is just supposed to be, you know, an exercise warm-up for Inktober. And maybe eventually I'll put a little bit more into these. But right now I'm just enjoying, you know, the simplicity of putting down the blue line and then inking it. This is, of course, the second day of Inktober. And this is the second in my series of the Harry Potter characters. So I'm sure by the end I'll be stretching as far as what characters I can do. But what's really nice about that universe is not only can I do the characters, but I can also do the creatures. And you guys know that I'm a creature guy. So enjoy, definitely like and subscribe. Enjoy the process. Share the videos if you can. It really helps out a lot. And as always, I greatly appreciate the subscribers that I have, and you know, stick with me. We'll definitely be doing some really fun stuff, and as we grow the channel, I have more and more freedom to give time to you know, to producing the videos, and you know, eventually I'd like to be able to be monetized, which will take care of the time that I spent this morning to do this particular piece, because as we all know, and this is just something that is a reality, time is money. But I just wanted to say thank you guys, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.